it continues to be really interesting. So I hope all of you had a nice Labor Day holiday. And without further ado, kind of let's get started. I want to give you guys an update today on what's going on with CCI. You may be curious because some people have asked me, they said, hey, Bruce, look, you guys do so many in-person events, so many trade shows promoting U.S. cotton. How in the heck are you promoting us, given the fact that the world has been shut down? And I'll tell you, we're all operating in a new world. And like everybody else, I've had to, CCI has had to adapt. I will tell you, after the world shut down, kind of in that mid-March timeframe, for about, I'd say 6-8 weeks, I, kind of would, like everybody else, was sort of just sitting back saying, okay, we'll be back in business by the fall. We'll have a couple months when we won't be able to do anything. And, then life will get going again. And at some point, I think around the end of April, I woke up one day and said, we got to get on with doing things differently and figure out new ways to communicate to our stakeholders and our customers around the world, because this thing might not be going away anytime soon. So I can't say it was prescient, but boy, it certainly turned out that we have had to pivot as CCI and learn how to be virtual. All right. So what I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to ask Christy real quick to just confirm that, in fact, hold on. Christy, can you see that?
Yes, we can. We can see it.
Excellent. All right. So I'm going to share this with you now, this short presentation. And really the focus is going to be on what has CCI been doing in the last, few months, and then what are we doing going forward to promote U.S. cotton, right? So I'm going to give you first a quick situation update and what our objectives during this time, talk about Cotton Days 2020, World Cotton Day, a new initiative we have called Cotton USA Solutions, digital sourcing, and then again, glad to take any questions via chat. So first, what's the objective for CCI? We have one objective, and our president, Ricky Clark, merchant from Cargill, reminds us every day, Bruce, your job is to increase demand for U.S. cotton. Okay, that's what we want, sell more at higher prices. So that's what we do every day. We get up, we think about how the heck we're going to do that. So a quick situation update, just looking back at exports, we just finished our marketing year, August 1st, 2019, we exported 15 million bales of cotton. Interestingly, there were 3 countries, China, Vietnam, and Pakistan, accounted for 53% of all of our raw cotton fiber exports. We add in 3 more countries, Turkey, Bangladesh, and Indonesia. So those 6 markets account for almost 80% of our sales of U.S. raw cotton fiber. And, that's really where we put the bulk of our efforts. U.S. mill usage, did drop with COVID below 3 million bales last year, but the Western Hemisphere still accounts for about 25% of all U.S. cotton, either via U.S. mills, Mexico, which imports about 1 million bales of U.S. cotton a year, plus our exports of yarn to Central America. And China has been the largest buyer of U.S. cotton lately, even as, other countries were shut down because of COVID. The phase 1 trade agreement between China and U.S. has really helped to kind of shore up our sales in the last, few months, which has been great. From a demand standpoint, it was devastating, as you guys know, in the spring, declines of 70 to 90% in apparel, nobody going out, everybody wearing jeans, shorts, t-shirts, every day, nobody, buying anything new. So demand is slowly returning. The numbers I've read range from anywhere, I think, apparel imports in the U.S. were down 30% in July. In Europe, They were down, apparel sales were down 25% in July versus 2019. So the good news is, demand is increasing. Obviously, the bad news is, in a quote normal year, 25 to 30% declines would be devastating. But we do expect it, to keep coming back. So the mills we've talked to around the world are operating at somewhere between 50 to 75% capacity, again, on average. Some of them back up to full strength, depending on their product line and who their customer base is. And obviously all the PPP orders, have really helped, as they've converted over to keep their lines running. It's interesting, many Asian countries have actually returned to what I would call normal in quotes, except for the lack of foreign tourists and business travel. We were in a non-wovens trade show in Shanghai last week, and our guys that were there, we were actually on a Zoom call at the same time they were on the show, and they were kind of showing us with their iPhones what was going on. And it looked like any other trade show you've ever been in, lots of people, very crowded. Everybody wore a mask, okay? But it looked like, just except for the masks, it looked like any other trade show we've ever had. And I talked to people in Beijing and Shanghai, our group there the last couple of weeks, and they are more or less back to normal in China. Same in Thailand, same in, Japan, Korea. They're all really kind of, operating again. Everybody wearing a mask, but it's getting back to normal, which is really good news. All the CCI people, just so you know, are still healthy. We haven't had any COVID cases, staying safe. And most of our people are back in their offices, except for Latin America and India. And I should mention, even in DC, our office is open, although, most people are still telecommuting, as you might imagine. So we came up with 4 objectives during the last 5 months that, because we couldn't travel, we couldn't do our in-person events. So what could we do? So the first thing is to develop new value-added services that'll help us to better market U.S. cotton to our target audiences. So those I'm going to talk about in a minute. You'll see some of those pretty interesting, I think, stuff, and I think things that are going to really help us in 2021. Second, completing internal projects. This is almost like, cleaning out the attic, cleaning out your garage, doing those things that you kind of had put off that enable us to be more efficient and effective in the future. For us, that was about standardizing, digitizing our licensing process, getting a new expense control system put in so that, again, we could operate more efficiently in the future. Third, building our team. So believe it or not, we have hired 5 new people. I've hired new people in Turkey and Bangladesh, new representatives to replace our CCI reps who were retiring. We've hired, I think, 2 or 3 new people on our tech services, all via Zoom. No in-person interviews. I have my new head of technical services, is a great guy, but I've never met him in person, and but it hasn't mattered. So, and the fourth one is, how do we communicate the benefits of U.S. cotton when in-person meetings and trade shows are impossible? I'm going to share with you in a minute what we're doing about that. But I want to make sure everybody in the call knows COVID has not stopped your team from promoting U.S. cotton. We've made over, I'd say, 500 Zoom account calls. It might be 1,000 by now. We don't count them, obviously, but there's a lot. We have a digital advertising program that drives 400,000 website visits just in the last quarter, the last 3 months, to our cottonusa.org website. We're going to do, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, 10 virtual cotton days with over 5,000 attendees this fall. We've got what we call a virtual mill doctor program for the technical team to visit mills without ever visiting them. Share that with you in a minute. We're planning a virtual farm tour in October to help sell the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol to brands. Obviously, that would have been in person, but now it'll be virtual. We're piloting a new digital sourcing platform. I would say all of this, except for the website program, is all new in the last 4 months as we've had to pivot to a world that, doesn't look like the world that we had before COVID. So let me talk quickly about Cotton Days 2020. So a quick update on events. Our last in-person event until the one in Shanghai last week was on March 5th in Bangladesh. So everything else, as you know, got canceled or postponed. We had to move our summit, which is our signature event we have every 2 years. We moved it to June of 2021. I think we're 50-50 for that. I'm hoping that we'll be able to pull that off at least as a hybrid one. But this fall, we have a full slate of events. We have 10 Cotton Days, 2 other events in conjunction with World Cotton Day, and all of these are going to be 100% virtual, as you'll see in a minute. So here's our virtual plan for these events. We wanted to create a virtual experience. It's a premier event, content and speakers that make it, honestly, the must-attend Cotton event this fall. I know that sounds kind of ambitious, but so many people now are on Zoom, they're doing webinars, they're doing all these other things. How do you lift it up and make it better than any of those things so you can hold people's attention for 3 hours? So that was the objective. So this is what we put together, and I give a lot of credit to Vaughn Jordan, who many of you know, my deputy director for CCI, who's really led this effort. And we have a thematic for our Cotton Days this fall called Leading Through Change, Your Partner for a New World, which I think is very appropriate. So we have 10 Cotton Days coming up this fall. By the way, if any of you would like to attend, let's make sure. I'm not sure the best way to do this, but let me know. I guess just send me an email if you want to attend any of these events. I will tell you, they're all most of them are in Asia, as you can see, so they'll happen usually somewhere around, let's see, for Memphis time, probably at 9 o'clock at night. They'll start and finish around 1 in the morning. But we are going to be in all of our key markets promoting U.S. cotton this fall. And this is how we're going to do it. We hired a company called Six Connects. So this is their website down here. And it's, I had never heard of these guys. And all these virtual, kind of platforms have sprung up. We wanted somebody who had experience doing virtual events and had experience internationally. So this is what this is going to look like. So when you arrive at, quote, Cotton Day, okay, virtually, when you click on, this is what you're going to see is this screen, your partner for a new world. You're going to log in, you're going to get a welcome message from us. By the way, because this is virtual, we have 2 advantages with this. Our Cotton Days before, and we've done these for a dozen years, would be 200 to 300 people, in a hotel. Again, speeches about U.S. cotton, networking, etc. And by the way, so we had translation, but it had to be simultaneous. Now, because of the way we're doing this, we can have up to 2,000 people at every event instead of 200, and it can all be in local language. So I think those are 2 things that should increase our attendance this year. So that's our thematic. This is what you see when you enter, Cotton Day. So you see a picture of it. That is my avatar. It's kind of a funny thing, but my wife took that picture and then we superimposed it there. That's our president, Ricky Clark, to the left. And this is the what you would see for Thailand on September 17th when you walk in. That's our representative there, Kripab Penza. And you'll see the welcome hall and all these different places you can go. We're going to have a place for our U.S. exporters where they can meet privately with customers. We're going to have 5 separate booths, one for Cotton Incorporated, one for Supima, one for Oratane, one for Cotton USA Solutions, where you can go in and meet, and then one for the protocol, where you can go in and literally have conversations. Some of these will be manned live, even despite the time difference with people around the world. So, and again, we've got a help desk, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what one of the booths would look like. Let's say you clicked on Cotton USA Solutions. You would, quote, walk into this booth virtually with your mouse and click on what you were interested in. We're interested in technical seminars, mill mastery. So again, this is work in progress. So where you see the word translation underneath, this means it's going to be translated into each of the local languages where we have, these events. This is what the cotton exporter customer booths look like. Again, now these guys are already reaching out to their customers. I heard Carlos is on the phone. So, PCCA, he's reaching out, he's setting up appointments with people to meet with them, talk about, buying U.S. cotton. We've got 16 exporters signed up so far for this. And again, it's an experiment. We don't know how it'll work, but we're going to give it a try. And again, we're going to try to sell some U.S. cotton at the same time. We're talking about all the advantages of U.S. cotton. And finally, for the actual program, you'll walk into a room that looks like this. This is the screen that you would see on the wall. You'll actually see, I think we're going to have it set up so you actually see people in seats like in an auditorium, just like you were in a hotel ballroom is the objective. We can't make it a perfect virtual reality experience yet, but we want to make it as close as we possibly can. And then the other part of it, we want to give content that's really interesting and relevant for these guys. So here's our program. We've got a quick welcome from Ricky Clark. We've hired a couple of professional speakers. For those of you who have attended the Cotton USA Summit that we do, we've hired a guy, a couple of paid speakers. This guy, Michael Duke, is a former CEO of Walmart. He's going to talk about leading through crisis. He actually led Walmart through the 2009 through 11 financial crisis, sustainability and the importance of sustainability, and post-COVID retail. What does the world look like after COVID? And then this guy, Willis Sparks, director of global macro for the Eurasia Group, is going to talk about global politics with a focus on the U.S. election. So pretty interesting speech. Our chairman, Hank Reichley, is going to do an economic outlook. Hank does a great job about this, so he's going to record that. Gary Adams is going to talk about the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol. And then I've got a short presentation, some of which you're going to see today, which is all about our new Cotton USA solutions. By the way, all of these have been pre-recorded. So we filmed these in different locations, actually probably 4 different locations around the US with green screens. But then when you see the presentation, it will look like we are actually on that stage, walking around, communicating directly with you, and we'll have live Q&A. So for Hank, again, live Q&A really is just for Hank, Gary, and myself, so that people can ask questions in real time, get real answers right during the program. So we're trying to interject some live elements as well, and there'll be local parts too. So each of the local countries, some of them are going to do a fashion show, some of them are going to have an address by a local speaker, etc. So it should be pretty interesting. Again, it's an experiment. Don't know how it's going to go, but we're optimistic. So that's our Cotton Days. And then there's something coming up called World Cotton Day. So World Cotton Day is on October 7th. The day to celebrate the global importance of cotton, an opportunity to show the positive impact cotton will continue to have in the future, and convince the international community to join the celebration. So the background on this is actually an event that comes from the ICAC, okay, the International Cotton Advisory Committee. Okay, they created and held the first event in 2019. It was in conjunction with the WTO in Geneva. But it also had a heavy focus on the countries producing cotton in Africa and India. Gary, Mark, and Barry did attend. So this year, I'm part of the ICAC, one of the committees, and I volunteered to lead it, the committee for World Cotton Day this year, really to be perfectly transparent so that we would get more emphasis on the developed countries, i.e. the US, Australia, Brazil, mostly the US, obviously. So this year, there won't be one global event, but there'll be local virtual events happening in several regions or countries around the world, including the USA. Kim Kitchens has stepped up, and she and James Pruden will lead. Cotton Incorporated will have an event on World Cotton Day. It'll cover the US. CCI will hold an event in Latin America. There'll be events in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all of which are kind of joint between the local cotton organizations and CCI, then Australia, Africa, South Africa, and maybe others. Honestly, some people have had their budgets devastated, by the COVID crisis, so they're not sure what they can do. But it should be a day to celebrate cotton and really try to get everybody refocused on the advantages of cotton. So in Latin America, we're going to focus it on sustainability. So it'll be a virtual sustainability seminar. Jesse Daystar from Cotton Incorporated will do a presentation on microfiber. And again, we're going to use the same platform, the 6Connect platform. You can see that's the auditorium. Seats will be filled. But there'll be pre-recorded speeches, but it'll look like you're there. Again, we'll have Gary talking about U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol, and then we'll have a local speaker talking about the circular economy. So that's what's going on from an event standpoint. And as I mentioned, we're starting to see, certainly in China, we're going to have several, actual in-person events that are starting up. CCA is going to have their annual meeting October 30th. No outside visitors allowed, from outside China, but it's just slowly getting back to normal. You can feel it coming. I want to talk to you now, though, about an initiative we have called the CCI Technical Team and Cotton USA Solutions. As some of you know, over the last 2.5 years, we started to build a U.S. cotton mill consulting team composed of spinning experts around the world with just one goal: work with spinning mills to show them that U.S. cotton, by using U.S. cotton, you get higher efficiencies in your mill, lower cost because of less waste, and therefore increase their share of U.S. cotton. You think about it, that's where it all happens. We gotta, it's one thing to talk about all of the great things U.S. cotton brings, but to actually get in the mill and show them real money that they can save is where we think the gold is, so to speak, in increasing our market share. So 3 years ago, we had one person on the team. Now we have 8 people who know spinning. They know ring, they know open end, they know air jet. I mentioned I just hired this guy, Jörg Bauersachs. He's our technical team leader. Never met him. He lives in Munich, Germany. Roger Martin spoke at the CCI board meeting last year in February. Some of you may remember him. And then we've got a host of guys around the world, again, all of which have different talents. But we are, we've learned a lot about cotton and cotton spinning in the last couple of years. And by the way, we're going to continue to build this team because I think this is a way we can win with U.S. cotton. So here's our new offering that we've branded Cotton USA Solutions. Again, some of these things that we're offering are programs that we had previously, but now we've bundled them together into one offering that we call Cotton USA Solutions. And here's how we're positioning this around the world for cotton spinning mills and manufacturers. Solutions is the leading cotton technical consultancy. Our team of technical experts has over 200 years of global experience and expertise in all types of mills and cotton processing to help mills achieve greater productivity, process efficiently, and ultimately make mills more money by using U.S. cotton. We have a saying that we use with our mills, we say spinning cotton is not about making yarn, it's about making money. So that's our pitch to people. And the good news is we know, seriously, that using U.S. cotton can make mills more money. We've done several studies. We spent tons of time now in mills, and it's a true statement. So we feel really good about this. Again, our guys have decades of experience. They know all types of spinning. They've got global knowledge. You know, most mill owners, and they might have been in one or two, maybe three mills, but you know, because they can't walk into their competitor's mill, they don't have the advantage we have that of visiting 300 mills in 20 countries. So we can bring to bear all the work that we do to generate what we call best practices. We know the best ways to spin cotton in mills, depending on what you're trying to make in terms of, you know, whether it's a 30 count, a 40 count, a 50 count, you know, et cetera. And we offer 5 different things. We offer mill studies, technical seminars, the mill exchange program, one-to-one mill consultation, and the mill mastery course. So what I want to do now is show you a short video, 2 minutes, that talks about this, and we'll unveil this for the first time at Cotton Days, starting with Cotton Day Thailand on September 17th.
If you're looking for greater profitability, improved productivity, and the latest techniques, look to the cutting edge in cotton, Cotton USA Solutions. This new cotton consultancy was created to take mills and manufacturers to the next level of success, with a team of experts who provide an unmatched global perspective, informed by our work with over 1,500 mills in 50-plus countries. Our offerings can be in-person or virtual, and are always complimentary. Starting with mill studies. This collection of research is based on third-party, controlled in-mill testing and provides hard data to build your business, like new spinning protocols that increased ring frame productivity over 8%, blend insights, and more. Next is the Mill Exchange program that lets you exchange ideas with mill executives from around the world. You'll tour licensee signature mills and share proven techniques in cotton yarn processing. Cotton USA Solutions also offers technical seminars. They provide training in buying, spinning, handling, and more using the latest U.S. cotton techniques from across the supply chain. Next, our Mill Mastery course, where you can gain a new level of expertise with a comprehensive course of study from raw cotton to bale management to quality control to make you a true spinning master. Finally, there are one-on-one mill consults, offering you customized consulting services for proven cost savings from 10 to 25%. Cotton USA Solutions, with mill studies, our mill exchange program, technical seminars, mill mastery course, and one-on-one mill consults. We're here to take your business to the next level. Learn more at cottonusa.org/solutions or contact your representative. Cotton USA Solutions.
So that is our offering, you know, that we're going to, again, roll out. Now, some of the stuff we've been doing already, you know, so we started the one-on-one mill consults about a year ago. And we've had, again, some real good success with us. We went into some mills in Pakistan, and we're able to increase their usage of U.S. cotton by, you know, somewhere between 25 to 50,000 bales. And again, it's a service that, you know, nobody else offers, certainly at the price that we offer it. We offer it free to our licensees, so it's an opportunity and a buying opportunity for them to get involved with U.S. cotton via licensing program. And it's been successful, but we want to take it to the next level. I think one of the interesting things, again, operating in what we call the new world, is the virtual mill doctor. And by the way, this is an idea that came from my new head of technical services, Jorg. He found that Microsoft has something called remote assist technology. So you see this device that the woman is wearing on her head, okay? That is called a HoloLens. And so she wears that on her head. It's recording audio and video of wherever she's turning her head. And so she's in communication with, let's say let's say York, who is in Munich. This woman could be anywhere in the world sending that information back. Then what our guys can do is analyze that and provide recommendations for what that mill can do better and how they can do pilots with U.S. cotton and again, improve their operations with U.S. cotton. So it's a pretty cool thing. Again, we've got one device. We've tested it, not in a mill yet, but in an office. So we'll test this in a mill in Thailand this month, see how it works, and then we'll get one for each country. But it will save us so much money and time. We'll be able to reach so many more mills with this program as opposed to, sending people around the world. So it doesn't take, again, you can't replace all the in-person stuff that we do, as you guys know, with these Zoom calls and with, this kind of technology, but you can, certainly get close. So that's the idea there. So rolling out this fall, we also have that Mill Mastery course that'll be live in 2021. We've developed 1,500 pages of information about, again, the best practices for running mills for beginners and advanced, and we'll take that out 2021. So a quick note on digital sourcing. Again, with people not able to travel, how do you source? How does an apparel company, a fabric expert at a brand, find new customers? Well, we're working, again, it's a pilot, but we're working with a company called Zinzenbee. Really hate this name. They're part of a bigger company called Common Share, and they're an online sourcing platform. So what we do is we work with, again, we're doing, Sapima's working with this, Australian Cotton, the Textile Exchange. So it's really focused on sustainability, all right? And here's how it works. So here's their homepage. So, and again, this is what it would look like if you clicked on, a Cotton USA logo. It would take you to, talking about the sustainability credentials of U.S. cotton. And what our manufacturers can do is, you see this on the next page, is, so here's our Cotton USA licensed suppliers. They can go in and click, and then their collection. So let's say it's, I've got, which one is circled? Oyster Textile in Istanbul, okay? So they digitize their collections, okay? Whether it's fabrics, mostly fabrics in this case, but could be fabrics, could be garments, and then brands can order directly from them via this platform. So they don't have to go to a trade show. They don't, have to travel. And in the past, we've done in-person, trade shows where we kind of do matchmaking between customers, Cotton USA licensees and fabric manufacturers or brands. In this case, we're trying to do the same thing, but doing it virtually. So it's a pilot. I'll be honest, I don't know how it'll work yet, but I think this is the wave of the future. Oh yeah, there's an example of digitized collections, from one of our suppliers, and how you can search and find that. So again, all new world, right? Hey, one quick note, and I have one slide on this. You guys have heard a lot about the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol, so I was asked not to, make too big a deal about it. I'm sure you'll hear more and more and more about it. But I just want to let you know what CCI's role in this. So by the way, this is finally live. I think we're ready to go for grower sign up. You'll be seeing more and more communication about this. And all systems are go. The company that we hired to market the protocol around the world has been already doing that. We will start spending what we call paid digital media against the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol in September. And CCI's role is to sign up brands, retailers, mills, manufacturers. So our goal is to sign up 100 brands and 1,000 supply chain partners by the end of 2021. That'll generate about $1.5 million annually for the protocol. Again, it's a pretty ambitious objective, but we on honestly, it's what we need to do to make it happen. I can tell you we've had a ton of interest. I have Zoom calls, meetings this week with American Eagle and with IKEA. We've had calls with Levi's, Tesco, M&S, Next, Contour, Gap, lots and lots of different brands, PVH, Macy's, I mean, lots. So, and we're getting lots of good interest. So the one pitch I'll make is we need those of you on the phone who are growers to sign up. We want to make this the biggest, best sustainability program in the world that all brands want to be part of. Gary Adams, Marjorie Walker, and Ken Burton have done a terrific job building this thing. We had a great board that has contributed tons of input. Again, that board is growers, ginners, manufacturers, brands, nonprofits. And again, the pitch is please sign up. We really need this to be big and to work, because this will help expand our markets, keep us from being locked out of certain brands, and really build our business and our demand for the future. So with that, I'm going to say thank you as always for your support of Cotton Council International. Again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate the partnership with the Cotton Board, with Cotton Inc. We're very fortunate that we collaborate so well. So again, thanks for this opportunity. With that, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to see if anybody's still awake, and take any questions that you have. I'm going to go to the chat box